this is how we start off our shows, okay? We start off on the left side, and we go. All right, ugly old goat here. Hodl, hodl, hodl. Save. Build a. Sound money. Sound money. Okay, guys. Hey, I got a member here today who you guys all know, Jimmy G. We've been busy working our asses off, both of us, but we put together an hour here. So this is live. This is to members only.
Definitely impromptu. Wasn't planning on it.
We have no outline and no agenda, except we're going to be talking about Mexico. Before we get started, though, I do want to make sure everybody's aware of the financial summit here in August that Tone Vase is having. I think it's pretty well sold out, but it's August 1st through August 6th. It's for the well-heeled. He's rented an entire castle there. If you can make it, the Goat Lady and I have not missed one of these. The first one was in Bali, and then we went to Dubai, and now this one I'd never been to either one of those places, and this is in the Dominican Republic, which I've always wanted to go to. It's very relaxing, very informative. A lot of high-level people there, and a lot of high-level traders and investors. There'll be hedge funds there, and hey, take a look at it. Hope to see you there. The Goat Lady and I will both be there. Jimmy, so glad we were able to schedule this.
Yeah.
And before we get started, I got a gift I want to give you. I got 2 of my books.
Oh.
So these are my hardback, and this is equity trading, and this is how to put yourself on the gold standard. Guys, these are fully illustrated. They're full-color books. Oh, you'd also get some of our certificates. So these. Let me sign this before I leave. So here you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There you go, guys. If you want these, you can order them on Amazon. But I'm really not trying to make it a bestseller. I don't care if it's a bestseller. It's $129 each on Amazon. Okay, but if you order through our website, either at uglyoldgoat.com, or you can go to Bitcoin Starter Kit or Bitcoin Starter Bag or Bitcoin Start Kit. Either one of them, and you'll see what you get. For $199, you'll get both books signed by me. You'll get a whole bunch of other stuff. You're going to get, first of all, you're going to get Saifedean's book. Now, if you already have a copy, just give it away. You know, part of what we do is educate people, okay? You're going to get Knut Svanholm's book, Sovereignty Through Mathematics. You're going to get Jimmy Song's Little Bitcoin book, okay? You're going to get Bitcoin Rabbi's comic book for the kids. You're going to get, hang on here a minute. You're going to get a jade wallet, okay? And you're going to get other goodies, including a Bitcoin starter bag, and we'll probably throw in a hat or something in there. So, guys, that's the way to support this. You'll also get, like I say, the ebook versions, and I'm doing audio versions, and we're going to start a Telegram group for that group. So, at any rate, that's it. Let's get going. Hey, I'm so glad you made it. All we do is have these wonderful conversations. So now we're going to try and have one just with you guys. Members,
and since there's members, a lot of you went to the event last year, Ugly had down here. And just so you know, part of the reason I'm in town is I'm back to pick up a buggy and some ATVs for my ranch. And I'm buying them from Rigoberto, who provided the buggies and the ATVs for the Horsepower Ranch event.
That's right.
In fact, I'm buying a 4-seater of the version of what Tone and I were driving. You and I drove it. The Honda Talon, because it's got paddle shifters and gears, and I really enjoyed the buggy, and so I decided to buy one, and I'm buying one used. And while doing that, the family is very interested. Christine, if you recall, at the event, who ran the event and did a hell of a job, was there. I was talking with her and her sister and Mom and the whole family yesterday and today.
It's a great family.
Ugly's birthday was yesterday, by the way, and a lot of you have caught on to that. So I ended up having a piece of cake with them. And but what a family. Fantastic. And so today, they supply it by asking more and more questions, and by the end of the day, they're getting orange-pilled, and they're like, we want to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah, so, thankfully, they didn't take any Bitcoin during the conference when it was $50,000.
And now they want to buy it at a good price. It's a good discount for them. But they're great people. They're getting it. And the fact is, what I want to talk about in Mexico is, and then when I explained this to them yesterday, they were like, wow, we do get it, because they do have pesos and dollars here. And we have hard and soft money already. So for them to understand that Bitcoin's just harder than the dollar doesn't take very long. So it does get easier. I've got to say, in this last 4 months of selling my house in Cabo, moving to La Paz, I must have orange pilled 50 people that have bought Bitcoin. I mean, it's like I didn't do 50 in 3 years that I know of. But they're coming to me, and it's amazing because it's at this level in the middle of a bear market where normally it's the bull when they're, the price is going up and everybody's FOMOing. No, these people are catching on now as to the banks don't work, this doesn't work, what will work, and where do I save my money? And it's amazing because many more. I had lawyers asking me about it, and they want to get educated in it. It's one on top of the other. These people that are, they ask me about it more than I tell them. I mean, offer it up. And
yeah, this
it's getting
liquidity
easier.
problem was just mainly off of speculation. The main cause of it is the shitcoiners.
Yeah.
And we don't have Bitcoin banks. I mean, we have these exchanges, and we've had all these people that borrowed against their Bitcoin this year, and we're washing that out. But this is the time to be buying with both feet if you can. This is just an opportunity of a lifetime. I don't know. It could go lower. It can hang. It's reached my objective. 17,000 was mine. Anything lower is grace. I can see it maybe going down to 14.
I don't think it's going to. If it goes below 10, it's going to be a flash crash.
Oh,
it's going to be seconds. There's too many people waiting to buy. I myself, I bought more, and I'm buying this buggy, but I'm saving more for just in case. A little more dry powder. But the fact is, to bank it, and like this family, they're realizing it's already gone down a fair amount from where it was at the event last year, and they now understand why and how and the volatility. And Dad's the one that runs the buggies, and he, hard cash owner, and he's just looking at me like, well, I don't know, and that's okay. I'm not saying you have to do this. It's something you should look into. But his daughters are businesswomen, and boy, they really got it. Mom, they hit me today with a lot lot and they feel very comfortable in wanting to start. So
yeah,
they're starting a lot bigger than I thought.
That's my goal here. Is that I'm working. I'm actually trying to organize a Bitcoin standard or Sound Money Institute that's going to operate from here. That we teach Bitcoin. I saw Giacomo has a new program, a certification program that looks great. I'm going to see if I can get that. But we want to be teaching. The other thing I'm going to be doing is probably I'm kind of close to Bitcoin House for people to stay here. Nobody lives here anymore. We've got a big house across the street. Hopefully we'll grow into, but we're going to do Airbnb on that until we do. But we're going to work with what we have, and basically I'm going to probably do trading classes and limit it to 4 members, and we just with a very small amount of trading, but mainly just teaching trading equity and the whole philosophy behind it. Jimmy's one of the few guys that gets it.
Well, I've been trading a long time, okay, and I've made tons and tons of mistakes. I jokingly always tell people I lost a hell of a lot of money in the computer boom. I just made more money than I lost.
That's exactly right.
I lost even more money in the internet boom, and I made more money than I lost. So I came out net positive, obviously, but boy, the lessons.
Being right isn't that important, is it?
No, and believe me, it's like, well, Greg Foss today, I heard him, or was it today, or this morning, and he said, if you think I got 55% of my trades right in the last 30 years, you're an idiot. People, that's not how it works. And
well, you can, you can get in there.
And there are ways to structure trades. If you learn to hedge your
bets.
You see, this is the thing that really, I don't understand how so many people, if you're going to play futures, for instance, and you're not doing hedges, and you don't know what you're doing, it's like using stocks and options. I rarely placed a bet once I learned how to do it without structuring both sides of, if it goes up, I make this much. If it goes down, I make this much. And if I'm shorting, obviously I'm heavy on the short. If I'm long, but I have both. And the reason I do both is it's insurance. It makes me sleep at night. And once I learned these things, and I had a cousin that was in the stock market. He was a hedge fund and whatnot, but he was the youngest guy to have a seat on the stock exchange many years ago. And he was a kid. And it was amazing the amount of money he was handed and was trading and working with. But, there's a thing about how you learn that most of these guys are the hedge fund managers. If you look at their track record, they're not making tons of money. They make it on a very few of the bets, and most of them they lose. But the thing that Ugly has been trying to teach everybody here, and this is what I'll tell you, a lot of people go, I don't get him, I don't get what he's trying to do. It's very hard. The hardest thing to teach somebody is money management, and he'll talk about it all the time, and you don't get what he's saying. What I'm going to try and explain it, what he means by it is, and we can jokingly say, if you don't manage your money, you don't have money to manage. And yeah, that's exactly where it goes. But the point is that nobody can give you signal because nobody knows your situation. Okay, I can't tell you when to buy. First off, anybody that says they know the market's going up or down is full of shit. They can have a good idea. They can have a pretty big idea. But at the same time, whatever they don't know. And so that's a given. And there's only three things that can happen in any market: up, down, or sideways. There's only three things you can do: buy, hold, or sell. It's not that complicated, okay? But what happens is you get emotion into it, and there it goes. That's where everybody loses it. So you need to set limits. You need to set and start with small amounts. This is where money management comes in. And when you start making it, go back to being smaller. That's money management, okay? But what is smaller to you is relative to you. It's not relative to me.
And guys, you're starting to see with this liquidation now, you're seeing, a lot of people, oh, the whales manipulate and they control the market. Well, you're finding out they don't.
Yeah.
A lot of big traders, until you've been through this, and as old as Jimmy and I are, I've seen a lot of big guys completely, go broke, and I've actually had acquaintances that, put a bullet in their head. And, it's really sad to see. It's devastating. This is what's happened. Hopefully, this crypto world is just a fraudulent world, and I distinguish it completely from the Bitcoin world. And that's what.
You don't know about this, but I mean, Nick Carter is a big thing that just happened, and Nick came out in favor of the NFTs, and he's got a company that he's invested in that does chain analysis. Bitcoiners hate all this stuff, so they've called him out, and he was defending himself, and he called all the maxis and toxic and people that they're irrelevant in his life, and I just laughed because he said it, and he took him hours and hours and spent much of the day, and has all written articles about how and it's like, really, if we're so irrelevant.
I didn't know that. Nick Carter?
Yeah, so Nick Carter, who wrote the great pieces on energy and everything. So this happens, okay? But
wow.
my point to you is that
I love Nick Carter. I've been wanting to talk to him because he understands banking. He had a really great interview with
he's
Lawrence
a VC,
White.
and he is a part of the VC world too. So it's kind of a fiat. He's a Bitcoin fiat guy.
I know he's down there in El Salvador and all that.
Well,
too.
I know. He's an investor, and I get it. But at the same time, it's just the way he comes out and does all this, and people are getting so upset about it. I personally think it's a bunch of drama unnecessary. One, Nick, you're still a smart guy, and obviously you've got some ideas of your own. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care if you're not a maxi or are a maxi. I don't go around trying to make people what they are. Bitcoin Mechanic has a problem that saying that there is no such thing as a Bitcoiner or a maxi or any of this. It's all artificial. Well, all names are artificial. You can say that about anything, but the reality is, in my life, I believe when people talk about maxis, it's like Tomer Strolight wrote an excellent article about integrity. And that is really what they're saying is toxic.
Well, I call it a Bitcoin standard bearer, and because I think that's a better name than Maximalist. Maximalist is just a meme that we adopted.
Who came up with it?
Yeah, Vitalik Buterin.
Vitalik is a straw man. Is his argument against is like
exactly
a bad thing.
So,
you're a
and
maxi.
I'm not even and I'm not a maxi in the sense that I do believe in competing standards, but I think that a standard is a standard. There's going to be one private standard, and Bitcoin's the only thing that qualifies. So I do think, for example, a gold standard, governments competing with a gold standard, and with Bitcoin as a background. Hey, my goal is sound money. That's why I don't go hodl, save, build a Bitcoin. I say hodl, build, save, sound money, because there is a difference. Bitcoin, in my estimation, is the only sound digital.
In our lifetime, really, what we're going to see is that really all that matters is Bitcoin, and the rest are distractions. And that's what I look at them as. I don't get as mad about it. People want to go to casinos and lose their money. That's fine. It is a shame that Bitcoin gets lumped in with crypto, in a sense that people think there's a similarity to them, and they're so different.
Yeah, I was reading up some of these articles of some of these exchanges and hedge funds going broke. Every one of the articles had a big B on it. These have nothing to do with Bitcoin, except maybe they trade it. I guess some of them are lending.
Well, that's how you buy it and sell it, is through that. But the fact is, it's like, a lot of them want to ignore that. If you're ignoring the fact that Bitcoin's ability as a revolution to change the world financially and give it a freedom it's never had, and you're just wanting to make money, then you're a fiat fuck. And I don't care if you own Bitcoin or not. You can own Bitcoin, and you can own it for the reason of wanting to make money. People do, for the number to go up. I don't.
Yeah.
I got into it somewhat for that. But what I really got into it for was I loved the idea that there might be a money that was sound enough that it would hold my value from today 10 years forward. You see, the time travel I've experienced, as you would call it, I've seen my money disappear in bank accounts and in value of purchasing power. And we just watched it here in 2018. If you're not aware that, what's going on in America is absolute artificial bullshit, you don't look around the world. I'll prove it to you by Tijuana's gas is $4 a gallon and $7 a gallon across the border, and it comes from the same place. Why does that happen? Is because it's artificial where you're living, folks.
People are coming across the border to buy their gas.
No shit, they're coming over here to stay in hotels. It's $230 a night in a Motel 6 with crackheads, and I can go over the border and spend $100 a night, get a penthouse with a fucking hot tub in Tijuana. People think I'm crazy. I'm like, when they see the hotel, they're like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, and you say those love hotels, which are fantastic.
Oh, they're all kinds, but the fact is, El Camino Real, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
Palacio Azteca, great hotels.
Yeah,
And,
it's good.
But I mean, I got a buffet for $10 or something. It's outrageous. I don't eat that much in the morning, but it just kills me that people, until they come, I have friends that finally come over to Mexico, and this is just coming in Ensenada and Tijuana. The further you go, the further, the bigger, the deeper the discounts are, and the less Americanized it is. But even here in Ensenada and Tijuana, where there's a hell of a lot of American influence, it still has a lot of Mexican culture with a lot of...
Right. I consider Ensenada really the first genuine Mexican town that's kind of not a border town. It's an hour and a half away from the border. Rosarito and Tijuana, they're definitely border towns. But
there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. And the costs are there. I mean, relative. I lived in Cabo, which is Gringolandia, and it costs more than anywhere. They say it's the most expensive city in Mexico, and I still could live there for... I did not have a house payment or a car payment. I haven't had one in 30 years. That's one of the things Mexico teaches you. This is another thing about money management. You get spoiled with cheap credit.
Yep.
And it makes you bad business people because you can always just go borrow some more, and that's the way you get into this trouble.
Yeah, you don't even want credit cards down here. I mean, I've got one, but they charge you for everything. It's just,
interest down here makes it so everything's a cash deal. So what it does is it makes you save and save up money, like this young gal of the family that just asked to buy some Bitcoin, and she's got a fair amount of money. And I was like, well done. It does appear to me that I know more savers amongst the women than I do the men. They hold on to their money, and they're concerned about it, and they're more interested in Bitcoin than a lot of the men. And this is proof like today.
Yeah, I do want to mention too, guys, that right now this is members only. We're gonna Angel is gonna edit it for us, and we'll probably make it public too. But I'm gonna be probably won't do it until after the financial summit. I was hoping to start it in June, but we've just been too busy. But I am going to start these trading classes, and I'm going to charge 1/10 of a Bitcoin. So that's going to be a bargain now, because with where the market is now, it's less than $2,000, and then you need another 1/10 to trade, and we're going to see what we can do in a week, and we've got a studio. Hopefully, the students that do come, we want to have conversations about Bitcoin and hopefully record them while we're doing it down here. And hopefully I'll put together a good class, because the focus is, I'll teach you the signals and the skills that I have, but really what I want to teach you is the whole idea of money management, because that's the key. You're going to make mistakes. You just don't want to make a fatal one. And like I say, you know what? As long as you can play the game, you will eventually get lucky. But the problem is, if you can't play, you can never get lucky.
And the best example is the time in the financial summit. Actually, that happened with Joe and you, and everybody had the red day, and everybody got screwed, and Ugly got blown out, liquidated, and so did others, and everybody lost that day. And then Ugly jumped back in.
Yeah.
And everybody, and Joe's telling him, but you said you're wrecked, and Ugly says, yeah, I got wrecked. And Joe's like, but you can't start back up if you got wrecked. He goes, what are you talking about? And this is what cracked me up. I'm sitting listening to these guys, and what Ugly isn't getting is that when you refer to being wrecked in Bitcoin or crypto, they're referring to losing it all. And to us, it's like, why would you have all of your money on the exchange? Why would you put all your hodl into it? You don't have more dry powder?
Is mighty. It is. And and like I've said all along, this next move is going to be the grandpappy of them all, and hopefully, because it's going to be a very strong move. It's going to come from the bottom up instead of the top down.
It's coming from. I've had more people buy Bitcoin or asked to buy Bitcoin. I'm telling you, it's not like before.
I'm changing my whole strategy.
They actually want it. It's not like they're asking me a bunch of. They're asking me questions on wallets and this specifics. Like they already done a lot of the research. And finally.
My biggest weakness is I don't know the language, and I wish that's my downfall. But I know the culture, and I love the people. I love the culture. Not everybody likes Mexico. I do. And to me, that's where it's at. The goat lady has opened a car wash now, and she just, I'm teaching her. I told her that I'm going to teach her because what I know. And I said, you're not going to like it. And right now, we're not getting along real well because she doesn't like what she's going through. She's finding out how hard it is to run a business. and to, not depend on me. And I said, because I'm not always going to be here. And, and I was always rolling my eyes. It's a good balance because, we have, who knows, I could have blown it all. We've never been better off in our lives, and yet it doesn't feel that way, because you're sitting here stressed out, and why are we going to be, just trying to meet a payroll, is a big deal, because you got to have liquidity and you have the Bitcoin, but not the cash. I got and Bitcoin's getting harder and harder. I mean, I'm getting shut out of the exchanges. Basically, they're just the rules are just, they want to know everything about you just to buy or sell Bitcoin anymore. So we're gonna have to just guys, we got to get this on and off ramp. We got to get rid of this on and off ramp. So okay. So which camera are we on? This one or this one? Okay. All right.
Keep bouncing around. I've noticed down here, and people Mexico are much more interested in it, and part of it's they're hearing about it, but it's a type of people now are the ones that are actually, with money, that are actually talking about putting their money in it.
So tell us a little bit about, again, what you have going on down here. And I haven't been down there yet. The goat lady was down there, but he's got, and Tone's been down there.
She went down and visited me while I had my house in Cabo. I sold the house in Cabo, and I moved out to my ranch in La Paz, and I have a house in La Paz as well. So I'm living between.
And you held that cash, and now he's buying Bitcoin with that.
I'd
like to sell one of my houses right now and buy Bitcoin.
This is money management, all right? I sold my house in March. I sold it in February, got paid in March 15th. And I started buying Bitcoin when it got to the 20.
Well, and
people are like, why
and the goat lady, she's selling her car. She sold her truck, and she sold the Jeep. She told me she sold the Jeep. And I said, well, I hope you're... So I think she's trying some other things. But we had an accident, and I got money in from... So that's going to Bitcoin. So this is the time to be buying Bitcoin. She's pretty savvy when it comes to buying these trucks and then trading them for something else. She always seems to buy the trucks when Bitcoin's up and gets rid of them when it's down. And that's how you do it, guys. There's three parts to this. There's the hodl, and there's the save. That's where you reward yourself. And there's the build-up. In the build-up, you're doing all these other things. She's got the car wash now. She's going to restart the embroidery business. I'm going to start the Bitcoin or Sound Money Institute. That's building.
Yeah, and a lot. And that's what my point was in the beginning when I brought up Nick was the dramas that go on with the maxis and this and that. It's big. Somebody was saying, I've tweeted out that bear markets we're a little on edge or this that. I'm so busy building. I'm traveling right now, so I'm watching on Spaces more and seeing things. But I'm down at the ranch. I'm so busy, and I have internet. I just don't check my phone every day.
And that's the right way. And sometimes getting just too involved in trading, and I get that way because I know I'm really good at it. But then I get I make all the mistakes.
I was trading, and then I quit. I was doing, and then I start up again. Then I quit, and I do this. And if you're like, how do you judge it? I judge it on, am I having fun?
There you go. If you're not having fun, you're over trading. If I'm not having fun,
I'm having trouble sleeping. I close out the account. I'm not kidding. I take everything off. I quit because I've been doing this too long, and it is fun and can be fun. And when it's not fun, it's not just because I'm making it a regular. I've had fun even losing, knowing that it's coming back. It's like, but there's times when you feel like you're fighting it and you're really not happy doing it. Then either your positions are too big, and/or you shouldn't even be trading at that point. And there's times in the market, and this was my point with Ugly and Joe. They can be. I think this happened actually. Tone and Joe did it too, but you might have done it where you take long and short positions at the same time, and in a way they're both right.
You're right. I like to do it with the shit coins.
But I mean, there's literally where they each took their position. They didn't do long and short like I do with a hedge. They did it as they took opposite positions, and within time they were both right.
Right.
But it only took time. See, one of them was going to be wrong and then they cashed out. And I can't remember who it was. I think the short went first, and Joe made some money, and then it bounced the other way, and could collect up. But it took them another day to get it. Either way, but the point is that unlike most investments I've made in my life, Bitcoin, you're pretty much, and again, Greg Foss, to quote him, it's the best asymmetrical bet of the century.
Right.
Okay, that's the easiest way to say it. I mean, it's kind of a one-way road, but at the same time, if you're leverage up, do stupid things, you can't do the ride. Okay, so if you're gonna be on this ride, you got to be able to stay in the game.
So
And-
how do I get in this thing that you're doing? What are you forming? I know you're talking to Bitcoin Mechanic about it, and how do we get into this thing down that you're doing in La
Well, the
Paz?
ranch. What we're trying to do is, with the ranch, is going to be a community. It's going to be a school. It is going to be a citadel, as people refer to them. But I'm not into making a defendable place, although it will be defendable. The point is, I'm not trying to build a castle or a prison or
You're building a community.
I'm building a school and
Right.
a school and a community that, and see, one of the longest lasting intentional communities, well, not one, but many of the longest lasting intentional communities on this planet are schools.
Right.
See,
why I wanted to
monasteries and religious are one way to go, and the other is schools. But it's education that is really what I'm after, and spreading not just Bitcoin, but regenerative ranching, off-the-grid living, a whole lifestyle. Everything that goes with the Bitcoin lifestyle, the ethos that we've come up with. That and so I was on this before Bitcoin. I wanted to sound life, and I wanted to teach it before sound money. And I did not know that fiat money had fucked up life so bad. I did know that fiat money was a bad thing. I was taught by my father at 11 years old not to trust the fiat money in 1971. I had a very rare life because my father educated me about this and about quantitative easing since I was a kid. I didn't understand it completely as well as I do now. And I'm by no means a genius in understanding all of it, but I have a pretty good idea of why he was so upset. We own a gold mine, and we're selling it. But people used to ask me, why do you own a gold mine? Well, now I have a simple answer, because there wasn't any Bitcoin. My dad would have been a Bitcoiner. He didn't love gold. He just didn't trust fiat.
Right.
Since it was created, because once you go into this Federal Reserve system where they've got this ability to print and keep 10%, and now we all know they took away the 10%. They're not federal, and there's no reserve. And so it's a scam.
Right.
You've been lied to. I don't give a damn what you say. My father felt this way. I feel this way for all my life. So, 50 years I felt like this. Bitcoin comes along, and I'm like, oh my God. And as I get into it and see the revolution of it, the vision of it, it's fantastic. But then as you really get into it, you start realizing, oh my God, this is like way bigger than I ever thought. I mean, because it affected me. I'm a carnivore, okay? I never thought I'd eat meat, but nothing but meat for 3 years. But thanks to Tone and Saifedean and Michaela Peterson and all these other people that put it out there, it's healing me of my rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm getting better.
You didn't
every
know
day.
about it until...
No. It was
Really?
Tone talking about it with Saifedean and me laughing. And then I asked Saifedean at BitBlock Boom after he talked about Bitcoin and beef, which I thought was interesting. How do you put those together? He did a beautiful job and a great talk about economies, and the strongest economies always eat meat.
Have you read his new book?
Not his new one. So I just talked to him briefly, and he said, you need to listen to this girl, Michaela Peterson, who's a carnivore with rheumatoid like you have, the same arthritis. So I'm like, whoa, okay. Listened to videos that night, completely convinced me. And she wasn't even a Bitcoiner yet. And she's not. What happened was Saifedean was going to carnivore events because he's a Bitcoiner that is a carnivore.
Okay.
And so it starts bleeding over. So now we have carnivores becoming Bitcoiners and Bitcoiners becoming carnivore. But why is it? And I was at BitBlock Boom asking all these people, and there was a lot of them. And you could obviously see they were healthy. And I like, you're a carnivore too? And they're like, yeah, I got into it 6 months ago. I got into it a year ago. I got into it 3 years ago. So as I asked around, I realized not everybody has the same illnesses or problems, but everybody seems to be getting better. So to me, it was obvious that the body, by doing this and putting your body into keto, was a better way to clean up and put your body into neutral or baseline, get off all the medicines, and I've done all these things, and it's made me better. So the point being is that this is a lifestyle. And
Guys, this is an amazing man. I mean, the more I get to know him, because he's 10 years younger than I am. He probably looks older than I am.
Yep.
His hands are all shriveled up, but he does circles around the youngsters that are, half our age.
The
or
buggy I
less.
just bought, I was laughing because Rigoberto got it right away. I says, the reason I love the Honda is it's got paddle shifters. He looks at my hands. I go, yep, I can do it. And he's just cracking up. I go, I love him. I can just sit there and change the gears like a maniac, which gives you great control of the dirt. People don't get it. Ugly Road with me, and he goes, Jim, you can drive. I've been driving in the dirt all my life, and it just cracks me up how people, they don't drive sticks.
Yeah, I was surprised, because they love the horsepower ranch deal, but that's really mild compared to what we do on those things.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
but it was some people didn't even go because they thought it was just so dangerous. And,
Yeah.
and
Guys, it's just one of the things we do at the ranch. But part of what I've done all my life, I've used nature to get people to wake up. Okay, and people say, tons of people say I've changed their life. I did not change their life. I
No,
put
you
them out
changed
in
your own-
nature.
you
I
changed
gave
your
them
own
an
life.
opportunity, and they changed their life. Now, Some people say they helped save my life. Well, not really. What you did, Michaela Peterson and Saifedean and Tone and Surfer Jim, is that you brought something to me and you supported me in doing it and recommend it. But at the same time, I had to do it. So
Right.
will I give you credit? Of course, for bringing
Yeah.
it to me and everything else. But you got to. I never take the power away from my friends or people that I know by saying, "Oh yeah, I did it all," or "I did so much." Really, the person
when
has
I
to do
first
it.
looked at Bitcoin, I got it kind of, but I learned from so many. I mean, Tone and Saifedean and all these people have taught me so much. Nick Garner taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And you just learn from other people.
Oh, Roger
There's so
Bear.
many-
I was listening to
Oh,
Roger Bear
yeah,
in the
Roger
beginning.
got-
I mean,
yeah.
that's the thing. They pick on Nick Garner. Oh, he did so much for Bitcoin. Well, he has, and it doesn't mean that he's not going to. He obviously invests in it. He, I think once, like some of them said, he probably wants to walk back a few of his words, maybe, but whatever. People get in it heated and they get defensive of why they're
I'll have to
doing
go
what they're
look
doing.
at that because I didn't know that. I kind of surprised. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Nick too because he's
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my heroes.
But it's just one of those drama,
Uh-huh.
but they turned it into such a thing, and I kind of laugh because not only see Nick calls us irrelevant and then goes on for hours explaining why what matters when we're irrelevant to him. We're obviously not, and at the same time, those irrelevant people are the ones that help Bitcoin become the thing that you want to invest in. So they're not so irrelevant, and it just kind of was humorous to me. But at the same time, the Bitcoin community is putting so much energy in combating what he said and getting upset about it. Any drama, guys, is just adding fuel, putting energy in the wrong direction.
What you want to
You
do
amplify.
is be productive in your life.
Just
Look,
put
create.
your head down and go build.
That's the problem that we have is all these people, they want to create their own money. They're inflationists because that's how they want to make their living. Roll up your sleeves and go to work.
I mean, I got to hand Nick, at least he writes articles, he tries. I mean, he does
He
one
does,
thing.
yeah.
And he's not just one of them, but the fact is, he said, you guys are irrelevant, I don't care. Obviously, you do because you wouldn't spend so much time on Twitter Spaces trying to explain yourself to the people that you say don't matter. But at the same time, like I say, it doesn't matter to me if you invest in this or that. You see, I don't care that you make that. Personally, I don't mind if I'm irrelevant to you at all.
Right. You're
okay?
a Bitcoiner.
But what cracks me up is, obviously, we're not. But that doesn't, what my point of the community is, don't get so upset when somebody doesn't want to be a maxi. Live with it. Deal with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, God, what, I don't know.
Well,
now,
no,
I have a problem. He has not like gone into shitcoins. He's gone into some investments in businesses that were questionable for Bitcoiners.
Right.
The chain analysis wallet that he works with. Now, what are the purposes and needs for it? I don't know. He's a VC. He's investing in what he believes to be new tech. And I'm an investor, have been for many, many years. I don't do it. My timelines and time preferences are totally different than young people. If I were younger, I might look at NFTs. I might look at it. But right now, I got 20, 30 years, and all that matters to me is the change that Bitcoin is going to make in this world.
I'm busy making NFTs.
Yeah.
See, this is an NFT. This is. I don't know if you noticed that this is like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
You see, it's got a hardcover. It's all color illustrated. It's almost like when they explained it to me, they said, "Oh, well, these are like Dr. Seuss books." That's exactly what I want. In the very limited editions. And so, if there is an NFT, I have a hard time putting my head around an NFT.
Well, the
I
point
really
is
do,
that-
without
Yeah.
an underlying thing behind it.
And there may be a play. I know a musician that talks about them, and they
Whoops,
want to
I
use
just
it for a way to. They want to use it as a way to be able to register music and get people paid. I get that. I have no issues with that. But they're using the Bitcoin blockchain to do it. You see, that's the thing. People use these altcoins for so many things. Like you could use Bitcoin for that. Bitcoin Mechanic came to me with something the other day. That was what we were talking about, was the governance. And this is what I'm doing down at the ranch.
That's what I'm here.
Yeah.
Tell them about this.
Okay, basically what it is, and this is just the beginning of where I believe the genius of Bitcoiners are going to go. And that is, Bitcoin Mechanic was referring to the fact of multi-sig wallets and the ways that you can get people to put their money where their mouth is. And at the ranch, for instance, we're going to have a community, and you put up a certain amount of money in your HOA, homeowners association, to pay for things. But there may also be a wallet that will be held there as your deposit that basically represents money that you put in, saying that you're going to be a good actor, a good neighbor, a good person, and do all the things you're supposed to and not be a problem. And if you become a problem, that money all of a sudden gets moved, and you're not a part of the multi-sig, and there's your fine. In other words, we're going to use it to create motivators and eliminate motivators that go the wrong way. So we have to analyze how we can use Bitcoin in ways of micropayments to make governance available. It's just like they talk about taxes. If you're driving a car, the car should be able to record how many miles you're driving, what it weighs, everything else, and tax the people accordingly. So people that aren't driving cars and using the highway aren't necessarily paying for it. The people that are using it more pay more for it.
Right.
Those kinds of things. Well, it gets to the point of governance where nobody wants to pay fines. Nobody wants to pay this. But also, I know the Bitcoin people that I want to do this with will have no problem agreeing to doing these things because they have no intention of being bad actors.
Right.
The fact is,
integrity is everything.
Yeah, you got it. And this is why I say I will only build the ranch with maxis. Now, whether Bitcoin Mechanic believes in maxis or not, when I refer to is people like him, and he knows that. But in other words, people with integrity and looking for integrity in their life, and that's what I want from my neighbors. Now, the school will be open to everybody, and I'm not just making this a maxi elite housing, not by no means. But the point is that I have built a lot of things in my life, and I've had partners, and I've had a lot of different. I worked with nonprofits, for-profits, not-for-profits. I've built all of them, and all I can say is I'm really tired of it. I'm really tired of people doing the wrong thing when they should have done the right thing, because it just makes it easier for everyone.
Right.
And I want neighbors that basically do the right thing when nobody's looking.
Well,
Exactly. Integrity.
Early on in Bitcoin, I said, Jimmy, I don't get it. Why do they have all these shit coins and everybody wants to be the new standard? If we want to create our own money, at least pick the right standard and create wealth. And this is a simple way that I chose to do it.
There's 1,000 ways to do it on Bitcoin.
Here's a coupon. You can redeem it at the car wash. And you can actually do a coupon in your own local community that's good at any store. There's all we don't know how to do it yet. We really don't know how to do it yet.
I was explaining, for instance, the gals today that I want to buy Bitcoin, they're concerned about, well, okay, if I want to convert it and I want to be able to use it, sell it. And I said, well, and they go, I know, not for years do I want to do that, but when I do, I said, well, luckily in years it'll be so much easier. But right now they can, because they're Mexican citizens, can get an Imbly card, and they can have a Visa card where they can put their Bitcoin behind it and use it as a Visa. And they're like, you're kidding. I'm like, no. You mean a regular Visa? Yeah, like this. You just put it in the machine and it spends your Bitcoin. Immediately, like, well, then I want in because I can do that. It's like this is the thing that's going to happen. Wallets are coming right now. I have friends here in Mexico that are making Lightning wallets that are Lightning wallets very similar to Strike that are going to convert currencies. They're going to be an on-ramp, off-ramp. But the whole idea is that most of what they're trying to do is you walk into the store and you tap it and it pays the guy in pesos even though you're spending Bitcoin. So the store owner doesn't have to take Bitcoin in order to be you to use Bitcoin.
Right.
And once that begins to happen, such exactly what Jack Mallard started with, he's the genius behind all this. And I met him years ago. He's amazing. And I knew it. And I knew when he told me some about it, and I learned more about it, that this was going to be huge. And
he's got the enthusiasm too.
Well, that's the thing.
He's a young.
But he's so
he
far
inspired.
ahead.
Yeah, he inspires.
Because he's
us old
understanding
guys.
that there's a huge difference between Bitcoin the network, Bitcoin that we can use for governance. See, Bitcoin it's a tool. It's a thing that can be used in so many ways. People keep looking at it as just money. Well, Jack has showed these people that, okay, you're about money, Visa and big networks and PayPal and stuff, but the reality is you're about moving it. So how about you do this and at least use the Lightning Network to move it because it's so much cheaper, so much safer, so much more volume, and that's what they're doing. And then once they figure this out, you're going to realize there's much of this Bitcoin is being used transparently behind the scene.
I met Jack, I think it was his cousin, at Unconfiscatable, and so I gave him this and make sure Jack gets this. So and he said, yeah, he's got it, he loves it. So I'll be curious to see if very soon they're probably going to be offering bearer certificates down there in El Salvador. I think that will bridge a lot of.
Well, there's a lot of things that we look at it here like this.
So hopefully this will inspire you, Jack.
The idea is, when I told Ugly about what Jack was doing, and I was trying to explain it to him, and he's trying to tell me about these notes, and this is a year ago or more, and he's talking about his idea, and I'm going, well, you're just talking to paper Lightning.
Yeah.
And basically, you're talking about doing exactly what Jack's doing, but just doing it in paper.
Because,
and
you can
understand, Ugly comes from commercial banking, and something a lot of you younger people don't get. Some of you do, like Nick Carter's and Will Clemente, and some of these young guys, genius kids. But many of you, I know a lot of businessmen that don't understand commercial paper, okay? And the fact is, it can be very complex, and I think they like it that way. It could also be made much simpler. And we back it with Bitcoin.
I did not understand it until I read E.C. Harwood when he said when he called the lost artisan commercial bank, and then all of a sudden, somebody finally explained this to me.
Well,
And that's really what the gold standard is, because gold. Anything else is 100% gold reserve standard is just that. It's a gold exchange standard, but that's why we got this term standard. You don't as long as it represents that standard, and it can be exchanged for that standard or other wealth that's measured in that standard. Then you can create non-inflationary purchasing media. That the money supply is expanded and contracted by the marketplace rather than from somebody at the top down.
Well, this is why they've always said it's free market. Bullshit.
It's free market.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
It hasn't been, and this is why they call American free markets. You haven't had free markets in years in America, and you don't have freedom like you think you do. I hate to say it. 30 years ago when I left the country, I didn't leave it for any. I came to Mexico because I like windsurfing and sailing, and I'm a sailmaker, and I actually became a sailmaker in Mexico. In any case.
Yeah, I found out, early on, and I that's a wake-up call. I do think this generation is waking up to that.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to, because it's going to fall. The system's failing. My father and I thought the system should say it failed years ago, and I'm really surprised they were able to keep it going. Then Bitcoin came along, and now there is a tool, and even my brother, who's 45 years a fiat fucking dealer, as I call him, in the stockbroking business, and he doesn't even get this. He retires and pulls all his money out of the market. And then he bought gold and Bitcoin. He bought 1/10 of the amount he put into gold in Bitcoin, and it almost matched his gold within 2 years.
All right.
It feels.
Well, Jimmy, I got to leave here in 10 minutes because I got a daughter to pick up from school. But I'm so glad we managed. We've been
and happy
busy.
birthday again. This guy,
we've been hanging out here for. He was back and forth for the last week,
Yeah.
but we really didn't have time to ever do a show. Guys, I hope to be restarting this and doing a lot more of these shows. But it is a big deal, and I just had to reorganize and just have a new structure the way I'm doing things. So I'm excited about it, and we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to downsize. I don't know that I'm going to have a conference this year. If I do, it's going to be real small and just for members who want to come down here. But and I still haven't figured out who is going to be the Bitcoin standard bearer. You got to help me out there. So
I might have a new one I'd suggest.
All right, because
he's well known, and I know you don't want the real.
I really don't want a well-known.
I know.
I don't need a Michael Say. Jack Mallard is great. Michael Say. All these guys are great, but they're kind of already. They don't need we want to lift other people out. Plus, they haven't been through. Well, Jack Mallard's been through the whole cycle. But Michael Saylor, we got. He's getting his testifier right now.
The one I'm referring to lately, who is the Bitcoiner of the Year, I think, and he's really proved himself, is Corey Clipston.
Who?
Corey Clipston of Swan.
Oh yes.
I mean, he called out Celsius. He called out BlockFi. He's called them all. He's nailed every scam that's fallen down. We've had 3 of them.
Great.
And he's tried to.
And he has that Swan.
He's the
right.
Founder of Swan, and he's doing education huge. And on top of that, he's helping people. I mean, I can't believe how many tweets people have actually admitted. A guy admitted it yesterday. If it wasn't for Corey Clipston and his gang, continually doing. And this is what Tone and Jimmy did for me. They got me out of shitcoins.
Yeah.
I got out
me
because
too.
of Tone and Jimmy. And so this is what he's done, is got people out of Celsius before it crashed. They got out, and they're thanking him because it was like, my God, that would have destroyed me. And they bought, Luna, the whole thing. He
didn't buy them from me, or he just get out and then buy Bitcoin.
He was telling people that these systems, what you've created isn't going to work, and he gets a lot of flack for it.
Right.
And even though he came out against the stock to flow model, and a lot of people gave him flack for it, proven right.
Yeah.
You see, and that's the thing. It's like I honor the man because he doesn't seem to be real greedy. He seems to be doing very well in his business, but he seems to be very generous with what he's doing. He's doing the Pacific Bitcoin Conference. That's theirs. I'd really like to see that one, but he's done a hell of a lot for the ecosystem. Okay, and as far as education, dollar cost average buy, that Swan is.
They're the most consistent on dollar cost averaging. They've really got.
Well, and I told Ugly the other day, and he couldn't believe it. He didn't even know this, and that was that Swan doesn't have a way to sell your Bitcoin. You can only buy Bitcoin on Swan.
That's amazing.
That's how he said. I'm never, sell Bitcoin.
That's amazing. I got to open an account with them.
Corey's on the top of my list right now.
Yeah.
You want a Bitcoin standard?
You know what?
This guy's kicking ass.
All right. You know what? I don't think anybody's nominated him. I think maybe.
just yesterday that it hit me like, ugly. We got to talk.
You
Because
know
you're asking
what?
me about
I
Ricardo
think it's
Carmona,
hands
which
down.
is
No, I didn't
Yeah,
want
but-
Ricardo.
yeah,
no,
but
you know what?
Corey's really
I
proven
knew
this.
this guy knows everybody. I'm not good at names or faces, remembering things. This guy's really good. Okay, I got to
we
go.
gotta run.
And man,
Been fun, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, we still got 5 minutes, but I think Angel here, our technician, wants to go, and we've been on for an hour.
Yep.
Hopefully, we'll be doing more of this, guys. This is a great man. Had lots of fun with him. He's fun hanging out with, and
Just get back to building. If it's bear market, put your heads down and build.
yeah,
And buy when you can.
try
I mean,
buy when you can.
but
Try
don't-
not to sell if you
Don't
can
get
help
caught
it.
up and wasting your time too much on the internet. Spend more time building. It's well worth it.
And you know what? I got to do that more. I got to do it. And
it makes me happy
even though
as
I'm
can
doing
be.
a lot of building, I need to just build with my wife and my kids more. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, I'm
sometimes.
just dying to get back to the ranch and just keep ranching.
Yep.
I mean, building. I just got so much going on, and to me, it's such a
Well, you
relief.
got a lot of women you have to take care of. I just have one.
They all understand.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep, have a great one.
Come down, visit me. Come down and visit Jimmy, and he's a great guy to hang with, and he'll run circles around you. He looks like he's old and decrepit, but
Oh, yeah,
he's
I'll-
young in spirit,
Come on
young
down
in
and do some
mind,
ranching.
and
I'll
I don't
show you
know,
how to-
and I don't know how you keep that old body of yours going, but it's going.
It's going.
All right.
Yeah, I know. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Ugly old goat.